Hello! My name is Callista, and welcome back to Dragon Age Inquisition. In the last episode, we completed what Pride had wrought. Morrigan drank from the Well of Sorrows, and using its knowledge, she's figured out how we can defeat Corypheus. We need to take out his dragon, and with that, his ability to leap between bodies should be disrupted. We can take him down then. Now, tracking the dragon down, that will be difficult. However, Aenor's already successfully taken on 10 dragons. What's an 11th? Now, before we go around Skyhold, I think we need to deal with our war table, first and foremost. Okie doke. Cullen, thank you for the money. And press Orlesian nobles. The Orlesian nobles were most happy to pledge their loyalty to both the throne and the Inquisition. Their generosity is matched only by their desire to avoid the same unpleasantness that took place at the Winter Palace. Ambassador Montillier. Lovely. Now then, I'm gonna figure out where I'm sending everyone. Be right back. Okay, that really didn't take very long at all. It's because we have so few war table missions left. This has been on the map for ages. We should probably deal with this. Alliances, getting things moving. Many of the nobility of the Orlesian capital have settled their secondary differences and are rallying behind two families. The de Rosiers are old money, well-respected but viewed as traditional and stubborn. The Tybalts rose with a popular merchant...
Letters are pouring in from all corners. Congratulations, pledges of loyalty, conversions to Andraste.
All premature until we deal with Corypheus.
Okay, good for them. The Tybalts rose with a popular merchant consortium and are considered new money and progressive. While the intent of both families was to rival us politically, if we declare for one of them, we may manipulate events in our favour. Lord Piran de Rosier has not asked for our allegiance, but may respect our rising might. Lady Valise Tybalt speaks for her investors and is interested in forward-thinking alliances. Cullen says we certainly have the forces. That is a simple demonstration to make to the de Rosiers. And Josie says, I can draw a number of agreements that tie us to little beyond ceremony. That will gain the initial interest of the Tybalts. I mean, this is Olay, this is Josephine's playpen. I say we leave this to her.
Inquisitor.
Good stuff. Bring Samson to Skyhold for justice. Inquisitor. When Corypheus rushed from the Temple of Mythal... Wait, what? I think that's a spelling error. When Corypheus rushed from the Temple of Mythal, he left his general for dead. My soldiers and I captured Samson with ease, given that he was still unconscious from your fight. While it will take the army some time to return from the wilds, we can expedite Samson's return in order to put him on trial. If you've no objections, I would be present for his judgment. Commander Cullen. Josie would have suggested, our Orlesian allies have offered to return Samson under the heaviest of guard. They're eager to see him face justice. Leliana says, Samson has given us no end of trouble. I would keep him unconscious with sleeping draughts while we transport him here. And Cullen says, I'm sorry, there are probably going to be plenty of tongue fumbles from here on out because I'm so excited. The game is ending. The game is going to be ending in the next few hours, and I'm freaking out. Cullen says, Samson has earned an armed escort, guarded in a wagon which our fastest horses will pull back to Skyhold. I mean, this is Cullen's business. Let's let him deal with it.
To work?
Indeed. And Leliana... hopping over to Ferelden. Make me some money.
Let's see what we have.
Thank you. Okie doke. Now we do have new trial rewards. Also, how is my inventory looking? Oh, it's looking just fine. It's looking grand. Now then, I'm thinking about the order in which I want to do stuff. That is the question. You know what? I think I'll speak to Morrigan last. Ooh, Fade touched Silverite. Nice. Also, do you have anything to say just while I'm here?
The Temple of Mythal sounds like the most interesting place. I hope you brought back samples of, well, anything.
I mean, we probably have samples of some stuff.
I'll see you later, Dagna.
I can't wait.
Probably, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Okay. I'm trying to plot out where I'm going. I want to speak to Solus last, or at least we'll speak to Solus, then we'll go speak to Morrigan. And then once that's done, we need to head back to Corypheus. That's where the last mosaic piece is. I know exactly where it is. There was a room I never went in because it was locked. Or at least I didn't spot that it was locked, and as such I missed the room entirely. Then we'll have one last round of party camp talks, and then we'll be good to move on to the final mission. Oh my god. Oh my god, that's so weird. I'm very emotional right now.
It comes swiftly, this moment that would be spoken of for ages. The day the Herald of Andraste challenged the Darkspawn that thought itself a god. Defeat him, and you'll be more than a holy woman to the people. You'll enter legend.
Oh god. Oh, this is not... This is not helping. Aenor doesn't want to be a legend. She wants to be Aenor. Yeah, hopefully history doesn't just remember Aenor. Hopefully history remembers the team of people she did this with.
I couldn't have come this far without the Inquisition at my back.
And there is the modesty people respect. People joined the Inquisition after hearing you were blessed, but they've stayed because of how you lead. I wanted to tell you that I shared their sentiments, Inquisitor, and... well, I suppose I just did.
Oh. Oh, you have been a good friend, Josephine.
You've always been there for us, Josephine. And for me.
It means much to hear you say that. Farewell, my lady. When you face Corypheus, may you walk in the light.
Oh my god. Ah, I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry.
A pleasure.
Anything to report?
What do the people make of us?
There's scarcely a noble house that hasn't openly pledged its support to us.
Any guess?
Any visiting dignitaries I should watch out for?
The Nevaran minister was greatly impressed during his visit. Considering I've never seen him smile before, we should consider it a coup.
What brightened the minister's spirits?
I believe he finds something romantic about our attempt to slay Corypheus' dragon.
But not Corypheus.
He's more impressed by a dragon than the ancient Darkspawn controlling it.
It holds a certain cachet for Nevarans. Their legends are full of heroic dragon slayers. Cassandra's family features heavily in them.
Oh, I said I wasn't going to cry. I said, hey, you updated. That's good. No, don't. Aenor, now it's not this. Aenor, clearly she's blinded by tears. She's running into walls. She's having a moment. Oh, hang on. There are books down here. We can't leave them behind. You're coming with me? Thank you kindly. Only 8 left. We can do that. We can do that right now. Like, that's no problem. No problem at all. And the servants still haven't learned their lesson. They're like, we're busy cooking. We don't have time to return the books to the library. It's a faff. Maybe we need to get, like, an actual service. Like a book retrieval service for the library. And that way Aenor doesn't have to do this the next time it happens. And speaking of Aenor, because you're hoarding one as well. Of course people are going to leave stuff if you're leaving everything about Aenor. They're going to take their cues from you. Okay, Varric.
So, I'm still trying to wrap my mind around this. We went to an elven rune, so a witch could consume a pool of magical goo and then walked through a mirror, and wound up back here. Have I mentioned that the shit that happens to you is crazy? I don't want to think about this anymore. You want to discuss something normal?
I love that recap. A pool of magical goo. Yes. Perfect. That's how Aenor hopes the history books remember her. Just there was a pool of magical goo, and there was weird shit, and Aenor went a little crazy. She had an emergency cry in the corner, like that's what she was doing half the time, just like, what is my life? And shit happened. Like that's the Inquisitor Llewellyn story right there.
I read your Tale of the Champion, and I have a few questions.
That's a pretty common reaction. Go ahead.
Okay, nothing there.
Carry on.
I'm just doing this to double
If you've
check.
got questions, I'm your dwarf.
Can I ask you something, Varric?
You want to talk about me? I'm flattered. Also inclined toward extravagant lies.
Thanks, Varric.
No problem. Something you wanted to talk about?
And anything new about Red Lyrium?
I want to know more about Red Lyrium.
I'll tell you what I can.
Okay, thank you.
I think that's enough on Red Lyrium.
Yeah, not really my favorite subject.
Oh, buddy. Buddy, it's been an honor. I love you. Soulless. I'ma just ignore you for right now. I'll come back to you. Also, have you... I think... Yeah, that's Selene. That's the Grey Wardens. Yeah, this is the Temple of Mythal. He's standing by his latest work. Dorian, surely you must have something to say. Come on, buddy. Yes!
What happened at the Elven Temple? It's got me thinking. I should go back, shouldn't I? To Tevinter. Once this is done. If we're still alive. All my talk of how terribly wrong things are back home. But what do I do about it? Nothing.
Oh, buddy. Buddy, what's brought this on?
How does this relate to the Elven Temple?
You encountered ancient elves. A piece of history. Something the Imperium didn't destroy. Maybe my people can atone for what we've done. There is something still left to restore. Maybe not all of us want to, but that could be altered. If you can change minds, so can I.
Oh, buddy. Buddy, you haven't been sat around doing nothing. You've been helping.
You're not doing nothing, Dorian. You came here. You're fighting with us.
Thank you for saying that. I want to do more than stop Corypheus, however. I want to save my home. It might surprise you to know that you're the one who inspired me. You're shaping the world, for good or ill. How could I aspire to do any less? If it means proving that Tevinter can be better, that there's hope even for my homeland, I would do anything.
Oh, buddy. Buddy, oh my god, I'm feeling so many emotions.
The Inquisitor's work is never done, I see.
And then there's nothing else.
I should go.
You know where I'll be.
I love you, Dorian. I love you. You're one of my favorite. I'm going to say that to everyone. They're all one of my favorites, except Sarah.
Greetings again, Inquisitor.
Okay, and yeah, nothing new here. Is everything going okay?
I trust everything is well with the mages.
We're mostly relieved. An alliance with the Inquisition offers security, although who knows for how long.
Okay, fair dues. And Cullen's back. That's nice.
I'll leave you to it.
Doke. Vivienne. Also, let me just grab these.
It's been quite the momentous day, hasn't it, my dear?
We should probably give some thought to the very likely possibility that Morrigan will use her new power against us.
I trust Morrigan. Do we? How long have we known her for? How do I put this? Aenor likes Morrigan. I think she's very fond of Kieran. And, you know, Morrigan has offered us some really good advice. But to say that we trust her, Morrigan has her own agenda. I think in a way, Aenor kind of views Morrigan in a very similar way to Vivienne. Right now, our end goals align somewhat. We are working for the same thing. However, I am distinctly aware of if we were on opposing sides, you would absolutely wipe the floor with me. You would hold no prisoners. We're very friendly, and I like you, and I trust that you're going to do what you're going to want to do. That doesn't necessarily mean I trust you implicitly. I think she'd say, I trust Morrigan not to do anything that would hurt Kieran. I think Aenor would go so far as to say that, but I don't think she'd be willing to say, I trust Morrigan completely. She's too much of a wild card. Aenor didn't allow Morrigan to drink from the well because she trusts her. She allowed her to drink from the well because it's you or me and I'm not going to do it. So it has to be you.
I don't think it's likely. I think it's a certainty. We will need to prepare ourselves, if we can. Circle records have limited information on shapeshifting. There are mentions of counterspells that may prevent mages from transforming or from reverting to their true forms. I have my people researching these spells now. If they have ever been documented, I'll find them. The pieces are nearly in place. We'll soon strike against Corypheus directly. You've done well. I will be proud to fight alongside you when the time comes.
If you drink from the well, I find Vivienne's response very interesting because she's looking into, and not exactly into curing the Inquisitor, but she's looking into things that, like, okay, if something goes wrong, if you are under a compulsion, I'm finding spells that will break that compulsion. She's looking out for them. I think that is very, very sweet. Also, I wasn't expecting, like, oh, I don't think it's likely. I think it's a certainty. I mean, I was saying Aenor was testing Morrigan in the Elven Temple, so like I said, liking someone and trusting someone are two very different things. And Morrigan is a law unto herself. You know, Aenor likes Vivienne. Would she say, oh yeah, I can trust her completely 100% of the time? Absolutely not. If their goals diverted, Vivienne would not spare Aenor a second glance. She is well aware of that fact, but she still likes her. She still likes her quite a bit.
My dear, did you need me for something?
Any gossip?
What are your thoughts about the others in the Inquisition? I admire Cassandra's determination. If she had a little charm, she could be a remarkable leader.
And there's that sass. Oh, I love it. Okie doke, and with that done... Oh, hello, Kallisma.
A request has been made of you, Inquisitor. Here it is.
Except it hasn't.
As you were.
Yes, Inquisitor.
And I don't believe we found anything. Yeah. Okay, I'll be back down to speak to you in a minute. Because the final book... Oh, excuse me, pardon me. Is right there. There we go. Sir? Sir, do you have anything to say?
Look at all these books.
Hey, nice. Good stuff. And is that... Yeah, that's still on Schmooples. Leliana, how you doing?
I was pondering who might be divine, and it suddenly occurred to me. Is it so ridiculous for the Grand Clerics to support me? Why shouldn't they?
Yeah, what would you do as divine?
If you were divine, what would you do?
Change things. Change everything. Your support of the Mage Rebellion was a good start. We must build on this. No more circles. The mages will be free. The Chantry will accept them as the Maker's children. In fact, it will accept everyone. Elves, dwarves, even Kunari. Why exclude them? The Chantry allows our differences to tear us apart, instead of teaching us how we are the same.
Oh. Do not support Leliana as divine, or support Leliana as divine. How do I put this? There are things that Leliana says that Aenor's like, yeah, I agree with this. Like, oh, why exclude anyone? The Chantry allows our differences to tear us apart instead of teaching us how we... Like, that thing is kind of bullshit. Because here's the thing, we're not all the same. But that isn't a bad thing. That really isn't a bad thing. It's... How do I put this? It's... I'm trying to think of the most delicate way I can put this. It's... I see this a lot with people when talking about race. And I'm talking real world conversations here. People who say like, oh, I don't see colour. I don't see black and white and all of that. And we're all the same. I disagree. I see black and white. I know that I'm white. I know that a person of colour is a person of colour. I know that a black person is a black person, a brown person is a brown person, an Asian person is an Asian person, like whatever. I can see that. However, that saying, oh, I don't see colour, we're all the same, in a way, to me, that registers as difference is bad. We must therefore be all be coated with the same brush. And 9 times out of 10, the person saying that, they mean a white brush. I'm going to treat you like I would treat a white person. And that in and of itself isn't a bad thing. However, by doing that, you lose so many wonderful aspects of other people's cultures. By coating everyone in a white shade, you are losing so many wonderful beliefs and ideas. And the idea of like, oh, we should ignore differences, we're all the same. No, don't. Differences aren't bad. Differences aren't bad. We must relish those differences. Like, yeah, we believe 2 different things, but that doesn't mean we can't get along. Everyone is going to die. Everyone wants to be happy. Why can't we just accept that? Like, I don't like that idea of we're all the same. No, we're all different, but that isn't a bad thing. Those differences should be celebrated, not diminished. I hope I'm making sense there. The Chantry allows our differences to tear us apart. Aenor would absolutely agree with that. Yeah, the Chantry has encouraged hatred, and it has encouraged slavery, and the imprisonment of certain people based on abilities that they can't control, and... You know, elves and dwarves and Kunari who are a part of the Chantry, who are Andrastian, yet they get told, oh, you're less than because of your race. Yeah, you're Andrastian, but you're not really Andrastian, are you? Like, it's bullshit. It's a load of bullshit. So the idea of, you know, it's like, oh, we're not going to exclude anyone. Like, everyone can come. Everyone is going to be just as accepted. Like, no matter how different you are, you're going to be accepted all the same. That's wonderful. Aenor's like, yeah, 2 big thumbs up from me. Great. No circles. And that's where Aenor's like, ooh, no. No, because whether we like it or not, mages are different. Mages are inherently dangerous. Magic and sword. If I want to stab someone, I have to draw the sword, walk up to them, and then swing at them. Hopefully in that time they would have seen, there's someone walking towards me in a very threatening manner. I should probably scarp her. Oh shit, they're swinging at me. I better defend myself. If I'm a mage, I can just... And I've called lightning down on them from like a hill away, where hey... Mages are inherently dangerous. They shouldn't be treated like criminals. In Aenor's opinion, circles should exist, but they shouldn't be prisons. They should be like they are in Tevinter, prestigious academies. They should be encouraged to keep in contact with their families, with their homes. They should have those community ties, and they should be, once they've studied, once they've got some sort of qualification that says, yep, they've learned everything they can, they're good to go, they should be allowed to do whatever. If they want to continue studying, let them study. If they want to go out and be a dressmaker in Val Royeaux, then fuck it, go be a magical dressmaker in Val Royeaux, you do you. The circles are necessary, not just for teaching, but also for providing mages a place where they can be amongst their own kind. No one will ever understand how difficult it is to be a mage except other mages. You can empathize with mages as much as you like. You're never going to understand that struggle unless you are one. And they need to be around their own kind. Again, it's the idea of, if you want to treat everyone as though they're the same, however, some people need, what's the word I'm looking for? They need considerations that other people might not. Mages need to be amongst their own kind because they are the only people who will understand mage phobia. Elves need to be amongst their own kind because they are the only people who can understand what it's like to be discriminated for being an elf, and so on and so forth. Not to the exclusion of all other communities. Let's not lock the elves in an alienage and lock the mages in a circle, but they need a safe space. Everyone needs a safe space where they can be amongst their own kind. They can I had to deal with some arsehole. Yeah, that was bullshit. Okay, back to society. It's not just a blanket statement of get rid of the circles. No, there should be circles, but they shouldn't be trapped there. The chantry should, understand that everyone is different, but you don't want to paint everyone with the same brush. There needs to be middle ground. Leliana can't understand middle ground. That's the thing. Leliana is a creature of extremes. I've said this before. If you want a really good breakdown on how the divines go, Cassandra is a traditionalist who ultimately changes nothing. Everything goes back to the way it was before the war, meaning that inevitably all of this is going to happen again. Leliana changes everything. However, that change is going to be chaotic because she's not willing to do it slowly. She wants everything changed now. She demands it, and as such, that is going to cause a lot of chaos. Yes, everything will be for the better. She's not advocating for things that are terrible, but it's going to be a very chaotic change, and that in and of itself is going to cause bloodshed. Vivienne is the middle ground. Vivienne causes change, but slowly, and in a way that people are going to be more likely to accept. That's personally why I believe Vivienne is the best choice for Divine. She makes changes, but they're slow. Here's the thing. I've said this before, Aenor doesn't want to support anyone as Divine. If there was anyone that she was going to support, it would be Vivienne. However, she's not Andrastian. It's none of her business who sits on the Sunburst throne. And the whole there should be no circles. This is harsh, but I just can't pick this. It doesn't make sense. Aenor wants nothing to do with this. I wish there was a third option for I'm not Andrastian, I really don't care about this. But I just can't. This is the nice option, but because if I remember correctly, it's those all sound like good points to me. Aenor believes the circles should still exist, so that'd be a lie. I think maybe she's just sick and tired of everyone trying to involve her in the divine debate. She just wants to wash her hand of it, but people keep asking for her opinion, and she's like, I'm not Andrastian, please, stop.
I don't support this. There are better candidates.
I see. Then I should be glad it's not up to you. It's time for change, Inquisitor. The Grand Clerics know that. The Chantry was a beacon of hope to me once, In my years at Lothering's Chantry, we turned no one away from our doors. It was a refuge, a place of peace. I felt the Maker's presence and his love even when they told me he'd left us. This is the Chantry I know, The chantry I wish the world to see.
They are pretty words. I think that... Like I said, I think at this stage, Aenor, she's like, I'm so tired of this. I really don't care about the next divine. I'm not a member of this church. Like, this shouldn't be on my shoulders. I'm kind of drawn to this one. I think she's got so much pressure, and everyone is kind of pulling her in this way and that. And I have said before, it's kind of, it's mounting. She's losing her patience. She still has a lot of it for right now. She's still like, okay, we're going to keep it together. You know, I'm not going to explode. Like, everything's fine. We're just going to breathe. However, she is losing patience. Like, yeah, it's great that the Chantry has been so good to you, but it's not been good to many.
The Chantry you describe is vastly different from the one I know.
But it could be this way, could it not? The Chantry dictated where it should have inspired. It spoke of judgment instead of acceptance. It should encourage the good in everyone, rather than rebuke us for our sins. No one should be turned away from our doors. No one is without worth. Whoever you are, whatever your mistakes, you are loved. Unconditionally, in your heart shall burn an unquenchable flame.
Oh, I think that's a very good word for it. What I was trying to say before, acceptance. The idea that we are all different, but we are accepted even though we are different. Rather than insisting, oh no, we're the same. We are the same, no matter your culture, no matter your creed, no matter your gender identity, sexuality, we are all the same, full stop. To me, that isn't acceptance. To me, that's just trying to paint everyone with the same brush and trying to fit pegs into the same hole. Some pegs are square, some pegs are triangular, some pegs are circles. That doesn't mean any of the pegs are bad. It just means everyone has their own hole to go into. That doesn't make any of those pegs inferior. Again, I hope I'm making sense here. I hope I'm making sense. Acceptance doesn't mean insisting that everyone is the same. Everyone should be treated equally, but we shouldn't get rid of those, like I said, there are so many wonderful cultures and ideas and beliefs, and those shouldn't be swept under the rug in the name of acceptance. Those should be celebrated. They should be celebrated and shared, and it's a whole ass argument, whatever. I'm sure you're not here to listen to me go on about that. However, I am just about out of time for this episode. In the next one, we continue speaking with everyone, but until then, please remember to like if you enjoyed, leave a comment below, and if you wanted to subscribe, it would be very much appreciated. I've been Callista. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next episode.